Hi, Strathcona County. It's Rod Frank, your mayor, and just update on our coronavirus response. And as we all remember, we are stopping the spread. And today I have with me a mom from our community in Strathcona County. It's Paige. And Paige, first of all, I want to thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
And really curious to hear what it's like on the front line, so to speak, with a mom with you have children at home, I understand.
Yeah, I have three of them at home.
And what's their age range, if you don't mind me asking?
We have one that is almost 9. Middle one just turned 11, and the oldest will be 13 soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm really curious because our boys are grown now. They're over 18, or they're 18 and over, so they're a lot more independent from those days. So I can imagine what's going on with you. I'd like you to talk a little bit about that. And the first thing I would think would be schooling. How are you handling that?
So far, they haven't, I mean, we haven't received any work from the schools yet. So they are basically just doing some reading and stuff like that during the day. But otherwise, there hasn't really been anything.
Yeah.
They are getting bored already. It's
Are
only
they?
been, oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's only been a week. I mean, my oldest, he is very much he loves school. And this is harder for him because he's definitely getting bored and he wants to be doing more.
Right. Now,
Yeah.
is the school system sent out links to on distance learning, for example? I know Khan Academy is something I hear a lot about. Things like that.
We haven't received anything yet.
Okay.
We've received emails just that they are working on coming up with alternate programming. For the most part, they do have, like my younger ones in elementary school, they do have some of the programs that they have been using in the classroom regularly anyway. So they're just kind of continuing with that. Like Prodigy is one of the apps that they're using.
Right.
That's pretty much it so far.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so did they at first think, great, a holiday? And now the reality of, I got to entertain myself too. Is that setting in?
Yeah, that's definitely set in. And also, my middle one just had her birthday. So her birthday party was canceled,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. We also had a relative that just had a baby. So we can't go visit the new baby right
Yeah.
now. There's a lot of that stuff that they're seeing now. And, at first they were like, oh, sweet, we have time off. We can have friends over, sleepovers, and we have to put the kibosh on that. It's like, no. This is the whole point of staying away from people. You're not having friends over and sleepovers. You have to stay home.
Okay.
So,
Well, there's a couple things we could talk about. First of all, how do you deal with the kids' boredom, or how do they deal with the boredom? And also, how do they deal with the disappointment? A birthday party is a big thing at that age.
yeah. Yeah, she was pretty disappointed, but I've been, really trying to explain to them what's going on and what we're trying to deal with. And I don't want to get to the fear based part of it with them where it's, you need to be scared of getting sick because that's not what
Mm-hmm.
it is. Like you said earlier, it's stopping the spread. So, we started while they were still in school, trying to make sure that they're being as sanitary as possible. And we kind of came up with our own thing within our house with that. And that went on through the weekends too, where I was drawing something on each of their hands. And whoever's was the most faded at the end of the day gets a point. So you're
Neat.
washing your hands the most,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So we're trying to do
What do you
that.
get with your points? What do you trade the
Um,
points in for?
well, at the end of the week with me, because I do have shared custody. So at the end of their week with me, they would get. We haven't decided what they get
Yeah.
to pick a movie for movie night or
Oh
something
yeah.
like that. 'Cause, like, can't go out and do anything,
Yeah.
but something at home. But that's more so what I've been not enforcing, but trying to teach them is just that we are stopping the spread. So let's just be as sanitary as possible. And Casey had her moment of sadness about her birthday party, but then she's like, no, this is why we're doing it, and it's okay. And once the dust settles, then, if it's May or June, she can have a birthday party then.
Yeah. Well, that's a good
Yeah.
idea. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Eventually, you'll have it when things settle down a little bit.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Um, so you talked a little bit about encouraging your kids to practice safe hygiene and all that. And have they been able to get on board with that, or has it been a struggle? How's that gone?
It's actually been pretty good. My two younger ones have actually been better. I don't know if it's the teenage boy stage, being in junior high and all of that. He's a little bit less on the clean side, I guess.
Yeah.
But the girls, the girls are doing great with
They're
it. My
fine.
youngest especially.
Yeah.
She told her teacher about what we were doing at home, and her teacher actually started implementing the same thing within her classroom.
Yeah.
So she was putting stamps on their hands so they could see who could wash them off the best by the end of the day. So.
Yeah. Now I know you're a working mom too,
Mm-hmm.
and what's that challenge like?
So far, I haven't had too much difficulty. They are at their dad's this week, so I've just been managing my workflow and trying to gear myself, getting ready to shift into working from home. So tomorrow I will be moving my office home. So then when I get my kids back on Monday, I will be working from home for the rest of the week because
Yeah.
it's too hard to manage them, trying to keep them busy and occupied and not fighting while I'm not there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I will be working from home. Hopefully, I will be able to keep them decently occupied, but there's the difficulty of devices. I don't have four computers for kids to be working on or, watching videos or doing their schoolwork online. We are one computer shared household. So that probably will start to get difficult.
Mm-hmm. And are you working at home right now?
No,
No.
I'm at the office still.
Okay. But you're
Yeah.
able to work at home, your employer?
I am going to be shifting
Yeah.
into working. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is really affecting everybody's daily life, and you doubly so. You're
Yeah.
a working mom with school-age children.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to thank you from the community because it sounds like your household really gets this. We are trying to flatten the curve. We're trying to lower the demand on the healthcare system.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I have friends that work in the healthcare system. One isn't in province, but it's crazy to hear their stories and how bad it's affecting them already. And the spread has really just started. So my kids have seen that and they've talked to these people as well. So that's been good. Again, trying to keep them away from the fear part of it, but just the awareness of what we're trying to do.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so overall, it sounds like you have some good support.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like your employer's understanding.
Yes.
It sounds like your family gets this.
Yeah.
But is there any gaps in the system? Do you feel the government is assisting you properly? Do you feel your friends and neighbors are getting this, or what's just your reaction on generally your support, how you're feeling?
It is kind of hit and miss, actually. There are
Mm-hmm.
some people, even within my close family, that really aren't getting the severity of what's going on and, how we need to do these things to make sure that we are stopping the spread.
Yeah.
Some of them are taking it to the extreme in the seriousness of it. So it's kind of hard to manage when you have all of the people outside your workplace and outside of your little bubble that you're trying to manage everybody almost.
Yeah.
It's that one has been
Mm-hmm.
pretty difficult. But as far as the government helping, all the new stuff that we heard about yesterday, as far as financial aid and all of that, that's going to help huge, especially for me, being a single mom, and I don't receive any support payments outside of that. So it's just my income and what I'm receiving from the government. So to get that little bit of top up, it kind of gives a little bit of breathing room. Not necessarily needing to hoard groceries, but there were things that I did have to go out and buy in excess of. Two of my kids have special diets. They are celiac. So when it comes down to, say, grocery stores being closed or limited supply available, they have a very specific diet. And if I can't get them their food, that is obviously a problem for us. And I don't have the extra income to just go out and buy those extra things.
Right.
So this government top up in our child tax and all of that is going to be super helpful.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we'd like to end with just going through what our plan is for stopping the spread. And the one I'll touch on, because we got to do all these different activities at the same time, but one of them is helping your neighbor, helping your neighbor basically. And you mentioned your family that to varying degrees they have support. So that's one good thing to keep in mind. And I think you're probably in the sandwich generation. You got probably elder relatives, and you got your kids, and you're right in the middle. You're doing it all.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing to think about. Maybe in your particular family, not you, but generally out there, you might be doing okay, but your neighbor might not be, or your sibling, or something like that. So, it's easy when you're going. If you're already going to the store, maybe you pick up something extra for your neighbor.
Yes, exactly, and
Yeah.
that's kind of what we've already been doing a little bit of. Like I said, my one of my friends just had a baby on Saturday, so she's not wanting to go to grocery stores. She doesn't want to do anything, so I've offered that to her as well. Like I'm still at work, so if you need me to go out and grab you guys something, I can just leave it on your doorstep for you.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Well, Paige, thank you very much for helping to stop the spread. Thank you to you and your family also for all your hard work, and we'll get this through this together.